Hello Stampers, it's Debbie with Stamp It with Debbie. I'm going live today to talk to you about Hippo Happiness, the coordinating framelits, and to show you 3 really cute projects that you can create with this bundle. So Hippo Happiness is a new bundle that's in the catalog, the brand new Stampin' Up! Annual catalog, and it just came out the beginning of this month. Here's the catalog. So many fun things inside. You can find the catalog online at my online store, or if you don't have a demonstrator and you need a catalog, leave me a comment and I'll be sure to get one out in the mail to you. So if you're just joining me now, welcome. And I'm just going to go ahead and get my iPad set up here so I can make sure that I really am not talking to myself. So again, if you're just joining me, we're going to be talking about Hippo Happiness. I'm a whimsical type stamper and I just love this set. It is 2-part stamping, but it's real easy, and you can either stamp or you can stamp and you can cut the items out with the framelit. So let's talk about the stamp set for just a minute. And if you're just joining me, be sure and click the subscribe button below in the lower corner, that would be your lower right hand corner, and then hit the bell. And if you're following me on Facebook, don't forget to hit like so that you never miss a post. So Hippo Happiness has a little bit of funny humor to it. Hip hip hooray, when in doubt be a unicorn, you are special. Fluttering by to say hi, thank you so much, and to you. Hippo birthday, I forgot to say that one. So that's fun in itself, but you all, I need to tell you, if you haven't seen the catalog and you haven't seen this set, if you don't even get the stamp set, get the dies. These dies have lots and lots of coordinating things that you can use for the fronts of your cards, like this piece here. Now there are 3 here that are not stitched, but these 2 sets here are stitched. So when you cut this out, it's going to be stitched on the outside and stitched on the inside. So if you cut a centerpiece out, you'll be able to use that for something else because the edge will also be stitched. So there's a total of 10 of these dies. This one here could be used, I mean, use your imagination, but I used it for a piece of grass. I put a couple of them together and use it for a piece of grass. It really probably is a balloon string, but it could also be a snake. There's this little flower here. There's 3 of them, so you could cut a lot of those flowers out at once. There's a leaf, and there's this that we're going to be using today. I'm going to show you how to use that. So let's go ahead and get started so that I can show you these fun projects. I'm so excited today to show you this. All right, this is the first project that we're going to be creating, and I wanted to show you what the 2-step stamping looked like. So I did go ahead and 2 things. So I'm going to be showing you 2-step stamping, but I also wanted to show you that if I wanted to, instead of stamping right on this card piece, I could stamp them and then use the dies and cut them out to add a little bit of dimension. But I'm gonna actually just stamp right on my card today because I wanted to show you what a little simpler stamping, like if you needed a quick card. We're starting out with a piece of purple posy, sorry, at 8.5 by 5.5. And we need a piece of designer paper. This one is also in the new catalog. It's called Plain with Patterns. And this piece here is also in that same pack of paper. I just thought I would use something a little different. As I showed you, this piece here comes right out of those dies, and we're going to be using that. We need a piece that's a little over 1/2 inch and just enough to get our greeting on there. So the first thing, whenever I'm stamping on an uneven surface, I always use my piercing mat. And then I have a piece of paper on here just so that I don't ink up my piercing mat and then get that ink on my project. So I'm just going to stamp some Highland Heather flowers just very randomly on the back of my card. Now, I'm going to show you in a second. There's also another little magical piece that we could do instead of flowers. I like using, this is kind of tone on tone because this is Purple Posy, which we don't have the ink, but I'm using Highland Heather, which is close enough. I like doing that, and sometimes I forget that it adds just enough of something in the background, or you could use embossing. But sometimes I forget to do that because I get busy thinking of what I could put in the background, and then I think it's just so simple. I could have just stamped something small. So that's what I did, is stamp the flower. Thanks for the thumbs up. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so I'm done for just a second. I'm going to take my piece of designer paper that's cut at 4 1/4 by 3 inches. And I'm just going to put it right here, kind of in the center, but it doesn't have to be perfect. You want to leave enough room at the bottom for your greeting. And then I need to stand up when I'm doing the stamping because you do need to be able to see on top of this. So it's a little bit of a process, but it goes very quickly. Okay, so these are the two parts of the hippo. And what I've learned is it's easier to do the dark part of the hippo first. So I'm going to go ahead and put him right on there. And I'm going to wash my stamps off as I go so that I don't end up putting them down on my projects accidentally. And then we need the outline, or the solid piece of the hippo. That's this one. But you want to stamp it off first. Otherwise, it's going to be way too dark. And I'm hoping I can do this without putting my head in the camera. So isn't he so cute? All right, now I'm going to do my butterfly. And I'm going to stamp the butterfly in Magenta Madness. I'm done with the purple. Highland Heather, I should say. So Magenta Madness. Now again, this is the solid outline, so I'm going to go ahead and just stamp the butterfly with the Magenta Madness. Now I could use Magenta Madness for the solid part. I could just stamp off, but I decided to use Daffodil Delight just to bring in a little more color. So I'm going to ink that up. And I am going to actually stamp off. I think it's a little dark, but depends on the look you're going for. So that's stamped. This is my favorite part, you guys. Get ready. It's my favorite part. We're going to give the hippo a little smile, and I might need to pull this back. Now he's got his nostrils, his eyes, and a smile. And the easiest thing is to line up the nostril. Look at that smile. Isn't he so cute? But that's not it. The eensy little butterfly also has a little smile. All the critters are smiling. Look at that. I'm going to bring it up here so you can see it. Okay. Now, just a few more stamping, and then we'll be ready to put this card together and we'll be done. We want the butterfly to have a little zing. So there's that piece that comes in this stamp set. And then the last thing that we need is our greeting. And I thought if you wanted to make it a birthday card, you definitely could do the hippo birthday or hip hip hooray. I'm doing fluttering by to say hi. So I have that, fluttering by just to say hi, I guess it says. And then I'm going to put this ink away so we're ready to assemble our card. I'm going to take this piece. This is kind of a technique that I like. I just cut it from corner to corner and then go over here and do the same thing. It just gives a nice clean look. That part I'm going to go ahead and put on just with adhesive. Oh, bring my card back over here. And then this part here, I'm going to put on with some dimensionals. I just like to pop it up a little bit. I think it looks super cute popped ups. So I have all the backings off. And there we go. Let me move this out of the way so it looks a little better, cleaner. What do you think? Is this a set that you can see yourself using? Some people don't like whimsical, and some people really love whimsical kind of cards. I'm definitely a whimsical kind of person, so this is right up my alley. And which one do you like better? This one's kind of like a watercolor stripe. That's polka dots. So we're going to go ahead and move to project number 2. And I did show this at my catalog kickoff the other day, but I wanted to show it again just in case you weren't part of that party. I wanted to show it so that you didn't miss out. So it's this fun card. And I'm just realizing I'm missing a piece, so I'm going to go cut that real quick. But give me 1 second. The big shot's all set up and everything. I think I cut the piece and decided to use it for the other card. So okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So this is the piece I'm going to be using. And this, of course, is in this set of dies. It's the largest one of these. And then I'm using my favorite new in color, Magenta Madness, 8.5 by 5.5. We need a piece of Whisper White, 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go on the inside. A piece of designer paper, and this is also in that Playing with Patterns. This is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then that's it. I did go ahead and I cut out my little unicorn and 2 butterflies. This unicorn I used Magenta Madness. I stamped him off once, and then I used Flirty Flamingo to go over the top, just so you know that. Now we do need to do just a little bit of scoring. I didn't show you this card. Okay, so this is how it would mail. And then when someone gets it, it's going to pop up. See the end? So that way they can have it on their desk, on a mantle, on their dresser, and they can always see it. Now, if you don't want to write your greeting here, you could put some Whisper White cardstock, cut it the same as this one, which again is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And you could write your message inside. I'm grabbing my scoreboard here. We do need to do just a little bit of scoring. We're going to score on the long end, which is the 8.5 inch end, at 2 1/8 and 4 1/4. And that's it for scoring. Now, you might know this when I fold this card as a card that we normally would fold like this. But this time, what I'm going to do, and so we might put a little piece on here and have it open this way, but we're going to open ours this way. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and decorate it. And I normally don't recommend that you put your piece of paper inside first. I always tell you to stamp first, but it's kind of important to have the card set up before we do the stamping of this butterfly. So this part, all we're going to do is put our adhesive, or I mean our designer paper on here. We're going to put that on the front. And then we're going to take this piece that I cut right here. And now what we could put it on like this, but if we closed it, our stuff up here might get in the way. So what we want to do is we're going to cut that. And so, dropped my block. So we're going to cut it. Give me just a minute. I need to run to my Big Shot to put a hole in this one. I don't keep my Big Shot on my table here where I'm at because it's just too wobbly and it would shake the camera terribly, so I don't want to do that to you. So in this set, I wanted to show you, see how I just cut this little hole here? There's this little piece, and there are two of these, so you could cut a little ribbon hole on both sides. I just did it on one side. And again, this comes in those Hippo Happiness coordinating dies. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of eyeball it how far I want this to be on here. So I'm looking at just about all that's in the round part. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back. And you don't want to go too far to the top or too far to the bottom because then you won't... you'll be cutting it off, or it's gonna, you definitely don't want adhesive here at the top. So when I put this on, I need to make sure, I'm just gonna lightly put it on, that none of my adhesive is hanging over, and that is just a little bit. All right, so there is my piece put on there. I'm gonna push it down real tight, then I'm gonna turn it over, I'm gonna cut that piece off. Okay, so now we have this. It looks like this. We have our ribbon topper at the top, and so now what we need to do, as I said, I did go ahead and cut the unicorn out first. Again, you could stamp right on there, or you could cut them out. So for this one, I decided to use the greeting, "When in doubt, be a unicorn." And so I'm going to grab that real quickly. And I'm going to use my Memento Black. And stamp down there at the bottom. And put my lid on my ink real quickly. So now I just need to put a little adhesive on the unicorn. Isn't he so cute? Okay, I'm going to bring this up here. See his little silvery crown or horn. Now we have some glimmer paper. Hopefully that's not too blurry for you. We have some glimmer paper and that would look really cute with that. I use silver foil because I don't have the glimmer paper, but that would be really cute. So I'm just going to put my unicorn right here on my page. And then when I do the butterfly with the smiley face, I'm only going to put adhesive on half, because that's going to kind of hang off. And now I'm going to take a little bit of this. This is our new ribbon that comes in the in colors. And I'm just going to cut a little piece off. And I'm also going to get a piece of linen thread. And I'm going to feed that through that little hole, that ribbon hole that I created. I'm not going to tie that, I'm going to take the linen thread. This is where I need 8 hands. I really like the look of this when you tie a bow with the baker's twine or the linen thread on here, so it's worth the effort. All right, I'm just going to cut off a little bit so it's not quite so long. And now that part is done. So the only thing we need to do is create a stopper so when our card is standing, it will stay up. So I'm going to put dimensional on the back of this butterfly. And then I just need to decide how far back I want that to be. And that looks good to me. There's no right or wrong of where it should be. The last thing I need to do before my card is done is give my little butterfly a little pep in his step here. There we go. And so the card is done. Isn't that so cute? I love that little zing, and I'm thinking it's going to be good for lots of little critters that we might have in the catalog. So again, this card will fold flat for mailing, and just make sure that your ribbon isn't hanging off too much, and you can put it right in the envelope. I think that people will understand when they open it up and they see that fold what's supposed to happen there. You could put a little note inside if you want to. So there is that project. Now we just have one more project. You guys, I'm so in love with this. I'm always looking for things to be able to wrap or create something 3D, and I found these at Target, and I love these. Aren't they so cute? It's this little thing. I'm going to show you what it is. It looks like a popsicle, but what I loved is it had the smiley face that really matched the whole set, where all of the unicorn and the hippo and the butterfly all have, oh, and the little sheep all have a smiley face. This is what's inside. Some lip gloss. Who wouldn't love that? And then this snaps shut and stays tight. So when I saw this, I knew it was perfect. Perfect, perfect. All right, we're gonna need a few things. This is a piece that's 2.5 by 1/2 inch. I did go ahead and already cut the butterfly, and I cut the unicorn. We're gonna need a piece of cardstock, and that's going to be at 2.5 by 8.5. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna take my little flower, I'm gonna grab my piercing mat, and because I want tone on tone, I'm gonna use my Magenta Madness ink and just randomly stamp my flowers all over. I can probably go back and fix that one. I'm not gonna try to do it on camera because I would have to get my head in the way, but because it's photopolymer, I would be able to do that. Okay, I'm happy with that number of flowers. I cleaned off my stamp. And I'm going to put this ink away. And the only other thing we need to stamp is our greeting. Oh, and I'm going to actually do that in my Magenta Madness. And this is when in doubt, be a unicorn. And then we're done with stamping. So all we need to do now is a little bit of scoring and some cutting on the Big Shot, and our project will be done. So let me grab the die and show you what I did. Okay, we're done with this, so I'm going to get my scoreboard again. And we need to score at 3/4 inch, 3 7/8, which is 1 before the 4, 4 5/8, and 7 3/4. That's our scoring. Okay, now what we're going to do is, I want you to know, because I didn't, again, want to have to make you wait for the all of the Big Shot cutting and jiggling my table. So I did go ahead and already cut this out. So what we're going to do is, you can see I cut a little window. And this is a die, again, that comes in that set. And I'm going to take it to my Big Shot, and I'm going to put it on this side here, off to the left just a little bit, and I ran it through, and that's how I got this. You can see that there's some stitching around the outside edge. So that's how I got that. Then I took, at the top, I took the little ribbon piece. It's kind of hard to see. Put the cutting side down, and I ran it through the Big Shot. So I'm going to show you on this one. So when it came out, I took this off. There was that. I matched it up to my other side, and I used a pencil. So I'll move it down here so you can see a little better. I took my pencil, and I drew a little line in that void there. That's how I knew where to put it. So it would have been up here, so the edge is matching. I ran the first one through, and then I put this one on top, but just for purposes of you being able to see, I'm going to pull it down. I put my pencil on there, and then I lined this new die up, or this little die here, with that hole. You might want to use some washi tape or your magnetic board, run it through the Big Shot. So that's how I got those holes to match up. You can do them both at the same time, but you do want them to line up because we're going to put a piece of ribbon through there. And so we want them to definitely match up. Okay, so we do need to fold on all of our score lines. So we get a nice look here. And those are already folded, but these were not. And while I'm doing this, I just want to say that I'm actually going to stamp this one real quick. Thank you so much for being a part of my Facebook group and my YouTube and wherever you're watching me. I really do appreciate you so much. And I appreciate when you share with friends so that they can see what's going on too, and they can love my channel, because it does help me to get noticed and helps my small business. I do appreciate it so much. So again, if you are just joining me and you missed at the beginning, if you would click the subscribe button or hit the join now, I would greatly appreciate it. It helps Facebook and YouTube to know that I have people watching, and they'll keep showing other people my videos. And if you can click a little heart or care or whatever you want at the bottom, that would be great too. Then they can know that people are really watching. All right, so I have that all stamped up. Now I'm going to take my little greeting that I did here, and I already cut it at 2.5, so I know that it's going to be perfect. I'm going to put it on just below that score mark here. And I probably should have stamped up there too, you guys. I forgot to stamp the little tab on this one. Let me grab my ink again. I didn't wipe this one off, so. I'll do this side too while I have it. Okay, so that part is done. Now what we want to do is add our little unicorn. And I wanted to add a little dimension, so of course, you know, I'm putting them up on a dimensional because I love dimensionals. We don't want it to be too far over this because we want our lip gloss to be seen. And so there he is, she, he, whatever it is. And then I'm also going to put the little butterfly on here. And then how I attached the lip gloss, I'm going to go ahead and put the ribbon in here first. So this time I'm going to use, this is a new ribbon in our catalog. And I'm going to just feed this through even before I put my lip gloss in. That way I know I have exact correct positioning. I like this. This is part of the paper that goes with that Playful Patterns, and there's a 3-pack of ribbon, and this is the white ribbon. It's kind of cottony and has a little bit of a weave. Now if you would rather not tie a bow, you definitely could just tie a knot up here at the top. I like the look of the bow, so I'm gonna just make that work today. I'm gonna cut the excess off so it looks pretty. Okay, so there's my bow. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my little popsicle lip gloss and I'm gonna put a glue dot right on the back. And when I do it this way, I can get exact positioning, so how I want the face to be through there. So I just kind of put it through, and then I'm gonna squeeze it down and it stays right where it's supposed to be. So what do you think? Again, I got these little lip glosses at Target, and I got them in the it's actually the party section. Let me show you real fast. How can these not make you smile? Look at them, they're so cute. There's a little mint green one too. So they made me smile. So I definitely knew that I had to get these. And I can think of lots of people that I would like to give these to. And even as a thank you, you could put something else in there if you don't like the lip gloss. But again, here are the cards for today. And if you need supplies for this project or any other project, I would appreciate you visiting my online store. That's what helps me, purchases help me to be able to keep giving free videos and share with you. So again, this is the die set. You're gonna love it. And definitely, even if you don't like the Hippo set and don't use any of those pieces, you're gonna get a lot of use out of these dies. I do have a host code that I want to share with you, and I lost it, so I'm going to have to leave it in the comments. Oh, here it is. Here it is. If you use this host code and you place an order of $35 or more, I'm going to send you the make and take kit for these 3 cards. You'll need to have the stamp to assemble because per Stampin' Up! Policy, I cannot stamp images. You could use another stamp set if you would rather order something else. So again, this is the host code to use so that I know it's you and I know that you have watched this video. Again, thank you so much for watching today. Click subscribe and like, and I'll see you again real soon with another fun project idea. Have a great weekend and be safe, everyone.